All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Summertime Rendering, Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
The plot thickens. We've gotten some development and established rules for how the shadows work and things like that. And we have our first ally in the Emoto.
And,
cool.
and Mio being that ally is really cool because I think there were some really fun red herrings that they threw in to spice things up, making us think that Mio was involved in some way.
Right.
And now it's nope. If anything, that could have been, a plot point if we weren't dealing with the supernatural side of things here. But because of the way episode 2 very clearly displayed, showed, and confirmed everything there.
Yep.
Short of some climbing out the window during shower shenanigans. This is
getting into her uniform and not being wet and having a knife. And,
exactly. No, this is very clearly complete, total supernatural doppelgangers.
Now,
even if he's got some kind of special supernatural vision or something through his heterochromia that maybe makes him see things not entirely as they are, no, we are supernatural.
We supernatural, and we have proof that we can show to other people. It would be secondhand for everybody else, so it might not be an instant, convincing, but you have somebody with you. You're not just the stranger coming in and saying all this crazy shit. So, okay, see if we can work with that.
And if he dies, he now has a method that is surefire to work. Basically, no matter what, if he doesn't change any of the things that brought him to that point. But also, given that the spawn points could end up moving, that means either a couple good things. One, you don't have to go insane necessarily, because you're not going to loop as much on the same stuff. But two, also you can lock in good progress.
Or bad.
That's the one area that we've
real
seen.
Kicker.
If you've seen any time loop stories, you know the
you can't
scariest
just tune
thing
out
is
and
a
learn
spawn
things,
point.
right?
If you have a bad iteration.
I would much rather have a consistent spawn point.
And potentially go insane.
But just be able to... But this would be the thing that would drive me insane, because then I'd have to take each one seriously as opposed to just relaxing for a few iterations,
I'm with you, but I feel like your own time clock matters more because of how much time you spend in this will literally drive you absolute batshit insane. Yeah. And given that this is, something in the title, if you will, we're rendering out a full, timeline, if you will, and it's a summertime thing. I don't want to loop a summer over and over and over again.
I mean, we know what happened with Endless 8, so, I mean, hey, but maybe if you go crazy, then you get a great Christmas movie afterwards,
I wouldn't hate that. I need to get a larger kind of attachment to the individual characters, but
But okay, I think either the cop or the suit lady is going to be the next person that they try and add into the mix.
Well, I think suit lady is, if anything, our person that we need to team up with as fast as possible.
But who knows if Shinpei knows that he needs to team up with her yet.
True. Yeah. Well, if anything, something that we didn't really notice, put on as much, but I rewatched episode 1, and there's a very clear moment where a person at the cafe is like, Shinpei, I saw you going around asking for the lady with the big boobs. And that's the moment when Mio goes,
yes.
Because she's all like self-conscious about her small boobs.
Exactly. Right.
But then he's like, what? That wasn't me. You drinking like super early in the morning?
Yeah.
So he's already got either a shadow or an alternate timeline version of himself going around doing shit. And I think we're setting up that shadows are just alternate timeline people in the loop. And that, maybe there's a grander time loop that's been going on.
Absolutely be a shadow that's attained sentience and is able to free itself from the whatever shackles,
Right.
Or just
so
it's simple and he just has
looping,
a shadow and he's got to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk to Ushio. Basically, we need to get some time talking with the dead person.
Yeah. Yep.
That's basically going to be the key to this. Somehow or other, she initiated this whole sequence of things.
In some way, shape, or form.
But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Yeah, but she might already be gone. Yeah, I can't watch you die again.
All right.
Yeah, if anything, I'll go to check on it. You see what else you can do on your own in the meantime.
Yeah.
Although at the same time, her shadow's out, so you don't necessarily, like, she's in danger regardless, right?
Right.
If only this were America. They just go to a gun store and I'm gonna need a 12 gauge and
It's really funny because the time I rewatched episode 1 and 2 in the dub, showing it to her younger brother, and
the accents that they use.
No. When the part of mentioning, like, we can't just, like, you know, shoot the gun here at night, talking to the sheriff. It's like, we can't have a random gunshot. Like, this isn't America.
Yeah.
It just sounded so, like, snarky and, like pointed. I was just like, oh!
Yeah.
Cultural damage!
Right.
Like, it's true.
Whereas in this situation, it's like, all right, go to a gun store. How old are you? 18. Right. Okay, here you go.
Here's $200. Oh, well, no, it doesn't matter how old you are.
$200. Wait, so you want a pistol with it?
Jesus.
The perks of being in a small town.
Oh. Yeah, and then they just open the door.
Because it's just like everybody knows everybody. You know, it's just... Yeah, again, this ain't the city.
Oh, that's creepy.
They're just gone.
Yeah.
I do love that, though, as a detail to sell the small town kind of feel.
Well,
they didn't clean that shit up.
I guess the shadows are so confident that they don't...
Right, that people wouldn't come inside.
Or just they're moving so fast.
Sure, yeah.
They're not worried about this.
Yeah, this whole situation.
This whole thing is very, very cool. Because it's his bird's eye view kind of thing. But also...
I refuse to get killed again. Hate to break it to you, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, what are those other marks?
Yeah,
Maybe they were looking for somebody that wasn't here. Like, how many people are in the family?
Because they were
sure.
snapped right next to each other, you know?
Yeah.
Shiomi hasn't been making noise in a while. Oh, okay. Never mind.
But what would be crazy is if it's in that time, she's already gone. And this is where the iteration ends, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God. No.
Instinct.
No. Ah! Shit!
Well, fuck. Yeah.
Of course, it's the little girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't let them know that you know about shadows. It's kind of a problem. Oh, so maybe it was actually a while ago that they got copied.
No, here comes comes mom and dad.
Or is this just like an eidolon or something?
Oh,
to
no,
fight
it might
for
be
her?
him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's trying to.
Oh,
okay.
Dang, they're fast.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you just gained a lot of info. I'd almost want to reset.
Yeah, because she knows that you know.
Well,
Like, if there are other shadows she's working with that weren't there and they don't have some telepathic communication, she's probably going to let them know. Yes. Okay, cool.
mm-hmm.
And if you didn't feel a stinging handprint on your cheek, then...
There you go. There you go. Good memory. Nice.
I like it. Yeah.
Smart.
I'll check the hotels on the island. There's 4.
I mean, yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. But like only 4. So it's like wouldn't necessarily be hard to find them.
Yeah, amazing boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Although, what if it was actually that some other people had latent memories of other timelines?
Yeah, yes. But you know what that also could potentially mean?
Shadow stuff. I mean, that's the obvious one.
No, it's that some things are inverted in terms of their sequencing. Meaning that we're actually going backwards.
Oh. Oh, yeah. That because if you're doing a time loop, who's to say that iterations are
in any order, kind of order, you know?
Because his observations and mind is already
completely
out
warped.
Out of time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right, because he saved him, so he shouldn't be a shadow right now.
No, he's not. Right, that's where he was this morning. Right. Why he's a little bit late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so can we talk like not... Yes, later, not in the diner.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, when did you talk to them? Shit. How do you get that? Whoa.
Oh, shit!
So she knew what was up.
Yeah, that's a real good find.
What if she had the ability and she transferred it to him? Like, she can't do it anymore, basically.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good find.
That is
Hopefully you know her code. Find. Oh, watch, this is going to be them coming in.
Oh,
okay,
so,
his buddy.
Yeah.
But we can't necessarily trust him. He might be a shadow. Oh, okay. Not necessarily. Yeah. Although, from Mio's standpoint, it's the, well, he told me about the shadow's existence, so...
Good question. No, that's a good question.
Right, because they don't know about the time loop, so they'd also be way more nervous.
Right, so they don't know necessarily what they want.
Mm-hmm. If it has hit points.
Mm-hmm. And that's the shrine, right? Where the guy said that the you might be able to cleanse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right, and how do you tell them that we shouldn't go there yet without telling them about the time loop?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha, okay. Oh, so true.
I mean, it'd be very easy to get stabbed in a crowd, though.
Oh.
That's... it doesn't really matter.
But also, are you going to tell them about how they can...
Yes, they are very serious.
That they can copy memories.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't think he wants to scare them too much at this point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because this is serious shit.
That also might be his self that's gone through all the loops already, you know?
But here's the other problem. Now they're already splitting up again. So now the next time he sees you, he has no way of knowing.
Well, that's why he gave him the code.
He gave him the code. Yeah. Yeah, so unless he says, like, you know, yeah, the code wouldn't work because of these reasons, but he doesn't know that, so I'll go along with it. Unless he says that, we'll just assume it does work.
Right.
Yeah, you can't exactly leave now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's when she does it in this iteration.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, Mio.
It's like that's her lifesaver. Once she gives it up, it's like, all right.
I've basically been like, I've admitted that he's not gonna like me, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you get infinite tries, so
That's true.
oh. Oh, wait. She's got the flower.
Oh.
That's just nice. I think that's the death flower they put on the funeral bed too.
Well, for the real her, because the shadow was killed.
I think it might be just a cultural thing because we would never talk about someone who's died as being like, well,
Right.
they'll be there, their
Yeah,
soul, and it's like,
Yeah.
that feels a little insensitive. I don't know. Maybe something like they'd want us to have fun.
If this is Oban though, then that would be what the festival's about. So
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Hence the shrine and everything.
All right.
I mean, in a weird way, that's
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
In a weird way, that's kind of what Ushio was you know.
Oh, this person likes this person, but they don't like they like this other person.
Ah, yes! Our grand blue man. Yes.
Yep.
Ah.
Which do you like more?
Oh.
Wow. She's really trying to like come in clutch for Mio here,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like hey, you know, if you break her heart, there's always the next iteration.
Tokyo feels so just dead inside. It's hilarious. Or maybe it is. Wait.
What? Who's there? Oh shit.
No way.
Oh shit. Oh, wait, no, she is dead, but if he can see the hymn of himself that's floating up above.
You could probably see her.
Yeah, uh-huh. Oh shit. Damn. So we're
This is all right after he basically just said,
Yeah.
she's family.
uh-huh. Yep. We got people liking people that don't like them, and we've got main character seeing a ghost. This is basically Anohana with a time loop. and crazy murder mystery and stuff. It's the I couldn't talk to you in a crowd because...
Oh, make sure to find me.
Oh.
Oh, shit. She's not glowing.
No. And she's in her swimsuit, which would have been how she died. So... Interesting. Although she was glowing before, so maybe
well, right, but also the glowy her that we saw was definitely in like a yukata kind of...
Oh, it was?
Yeah, definitely. All right, y'all.
Okay.
We keep having the lid...
Yep.
Like... pop open with more stuff that's inside this entire can of mystery. And
I am loving the episode cliffhangers for this show.
They're very good.
They're real good.
They're very gripping.
Like they are very effective at being like, hey, we're giving you meaningful progress, new info that is probably in some ways the most important or some of the most important info you've got in the episode, that whole episode.
Right.
And then we're going to leave you there. We're not going to backpedal off of any of them in the next episode. We're going to follow up on them and answer it. And so now, okay.
Yep.
All right. Here she is.
Here she is. Now the question is, there's like a million ways that this could be with Ushio being here. One is that he has special perception, so therefore,
that's why he's seeing her and nobody else is.
Exactly. She's not necessarily really here. I think that there's even a couple subdivisions of what that means.
Right.
Which is either that one, she's dead and she's just a ghost here. He can see ghosts. I really don't think that's where they're going with this.
No, because otherwise he'd be seeing a bunch of different ghosts.
Right.
I think it's tied to the power specifically.
I think it's tied to the power and what shadows are specifically. And I think that shadows are people from like a dark timeline or a bad timeline or just another timeline in general.
I think that's definitely the case.
And I think that because of the way that she set it up with, you need to find me, she's basically saying, I can't guide you specifically to where I am. It's at some point with this power, you're going to have to find me. Doing that is going to be tricky. So rather than saying how you need to find me like the one time, it's no, just find me, protect Mio. It's basically the passing of the torch. And if the ability was transferred at that point, I think this is tied to her using the ability as well.
And I could see it also being something where this isn't necessarily fully her, because of the time shenanigans and
different memories.
Yeah, different memories. Because, this was one of the things that was weird about when she showed up. At first, she's all glowy and she's in a yukata, and then he chases after her, finds her. She's not glowy. She's wearing her swimsuit, same swimsuit when she gave him the message in the first episode. Yeah, and I'm guessing the swimsuit that she died in. So. Something's going on here, right?
Yeah. The immediate thing I think we can pretty safely say we've kind of come to the same conclusion on is that she had this power, and that's why she was able to give it to our main boy Shinpei.
Yep.
What that means though is that at some point in the story of this world and what have you, she could have used this an infinite number of times.
Yes, and that she has the blank check.
Right, that means then that finding her here could literally mean, I mean, she positioned herself at key points along his future, which might be then her past. And then it's if she was in a time loop, how big did hers extend out both forward and backward?
Yeah.
Because that means then that in some ways, his story might be something that's entirely encapsulated within her time loop.
So, yes. One of the other things that I want to point out, or that I want to add to that, is that depending on how this works, there is the possibility that when she talked to him the first time on the boat, there was no one else on the boat, even though it was the boat that he was on when he was coming here and all that stuff. Right. But theoretically, there could have been a situation where when she passed it, can she pass it on without being physically there? I'm guessing this isn't her physical body, right?
Oh, so, you don't think so?
It could be.
I think it definitely is, because we had a very clear distinction between and glowy aspect there, because I think those are two different things.
Okay.
I think that the glowy aspect there is tied to the internal bird's eye view.
Okay.
I like helpful thing of that there, and that's these are the perfect timeline, the people that have the most memories, and they're guiding people that have the sight, basically.
If that's the case, then I think that adds a lot to the theory that I had that the Ushio that died is the shadow, and she's been like hiding in a cave or something.
Sure.
Right? And just being like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here. I'm still in my bathing suit because that's how it was when, you know, it all went down and everything. And so, you know,
I'll always get passed off as a ghost or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Okay. If she's still alive, I think that's one thing that makes a lot of sense. The weird thing, though, is that it calls into question what shadows are again then. Because
correct.
why would a shadow...
How would a shadow die? Like, or why would it need to breathe?
This is the part here, is that the shadows are not necessarily always... This is a weird kind of way to say this, but they're not always necessarily shadows. I feel like once they incorporate themselves... or incarnate themselves, basically.
Then they have a full physical
body. They are
body.
actually a full physical body. They are actually...
Right. Yeah,
that's why Shiori wasn't ever a threat to Shinpei with a physical sense, because
hence why
it's a child.
So she just starts to conjure, you know, something big that would be able to overpower him. Right. So, I'm 100% with you on that. Now, there's the possibility that it's not that, and really, we're probably going to find out exactly what the, you know, situation is at the beginning of the next episode. But if it's something where she's using her, like, astral self or whatever this is her astral self, it's not a traditional physical body, she is dead, right? Because characters named Ushio have to be dead. But then that could open up the question of if she's able to then pass it through her astral form, that opens up different possibilities. But if she wasn't able to pass it through her astral form, there's the possibility that she realized she was going to lose, which probably happened anyways, and that's why she passed it on, which is terrifying if you have a time loop power.
This is something that we brought up before.
Terrifying.
It's scary if he gets copied, because we don't know if they would then the shadows would gain his ability.
Right. And just the idea, and you also need to make sure that you don't tell anybody that you can time loop, because if the shadows find that out, you're at least in that iteration, you're probably fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
Suddenly
and it can theoretically go into multiple, you know, time iterations or whatever, if that knowledge can be passed on or something. Yeah. But
because we still don't know the shadows' motivation, but there's a reason that they're here, and this isn't a story about some kind of global, you know,
right? Exactly. It's localized to this island. Stuff.
Yeah, and it's probably tied to Old Town lore, like with the fisherman Nezu.
But guy. So what I'm thinking is, what if there was if she didn't pass it through her astral form, what if there was a timeline where she realized, I'm going to lose, I can't actually win here.
Right.
But I can control the circumstances in which I die.
Yeah.
So in one iteration, she sets Shinpei up to have the power, and then resets things, goes and dies, right? In a particular way that will get him here at a particular point in time.
And so we've got a classic fun paradox here, where I think we have very clearly this is one of my favorite kind of iterations of time manipulated storylines, is people's beginnings and ends.
Right, because what does that even mean with
basically
time travel?
Right, exactly. But the idea that when someone comes to see you, they did this in Doctor Who in a very cool way. There's a character that meets the Doctor at their end.
Okay.
And they're so happy to see them for their final time. But to this iteration of the Doctor, they have no memory of them. So it's
because a future Doctor then goes back in time and meets them or whatever.
Well, no. I don't want to go into details here. But basically, the point is that someone from the future has their final moments of their life, basically, meeting them for the first time.
Gotcha.
It's a fun cycle loop there, because then it's did the first meeting of the person inform the intensity of the relationship because that was their first time meeting them, you know?
Right.
And then that's where things get, I like wonky, because if you travel to the past, does that change the past? It's
right. Are you doing split timeline theory or overriding the same timeline?
Right. Yeah. And in some ways with time loops, you can kind of have your cake and eat it, because there's the idea that the loop is perpetual. You can't actually end it. It's the idea of him deciding how the waves ride versus just riding the wave current. And usually I'd say in these types of stories, they don't go hardball on one or the other. You can kind of cheese on by of being like, well, I direct the magnitude of the waves a little bit, but I am ultimately kind of riding the wave currents of the timeline.
I mean, he is absolutely 100% improving and riffing off of what he's getting because at the very least,
the spawn point changed.
At the
very least, that's something that he had no control over.
He hasn't iterated very many times, so he doesn't actually know much of what's going to happen.
Right.
And things are going really well so far for this iteration.
Yeah. I think that the shadows, kind of also aversion to moving quickly and publicly.
Right. No murder sprees. Yeah.
Right. It shows that there is definitely an importance to this time of doing this, which might be just his arrival, or just this this instigating factor of Ushio's funeral bringing a lot of people to the island or something.
It could also be something where the priest that they're talking about is the plot point that they haven't been able to talk to yet, but they've been set up, and it's maybe he can deal with this. Maybe it's something where it's the big problem is that we need to make sure that this doesn't get public because the priest could actually fuck up our day.
Sure.
Right.
And that's why
we don't go after him. That's why
Mio's shadow was literally patrolling the shrine.
Right. It's running interference of we can't let anyone get to them. Especially if we start to realize that say the lady with the suit is investigating and knows about us.
And that also might be why she was like, oh, they're everywhere. Meaning she's already done a bit of canvassing of the town, and seeing Shiori wasn't they're everywhere, there's one. It's oh fuck, I just looked in that general direction and I saw another one.
Right, or two more. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also just another thing that's cool to bring up, is that this episode focuses so much on the idea that we can't tell the difference between shadows and non-shadows, and yet Suit Lady could.
Yes, Suit Lady could, just by looking at
from a distance.
From a distance.
Right.
Also, I still don't trust So.
Well, yeah, I think that's the fun part here, is that we know we can't trust So.
Right.
But you've got to at least test, some kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to test it. Well, and thankfully
from info he can gain and use for future
exactly
stuff.
From a meta standpoint and from Shinpei's character standpoint, because he knows about the time loop but no one else does.
Right.
This is fine.
Because he's not talking about the time loop stuff.
He's not talking about the time loop stuff.
Which is very smart.
Right. To anybody, which is, very, very good idea.
Very smart.
But from the shadow standpoint, it's here's somebody that maybe, we have realized because of questions that he asked, knows about the shadows. Yeah, So's already been a shadow. We're going to have him get close to him, and they'll figure out this whole thing to, do whatever. He'll just blend in and be a sleeper agent so that way, if we ever need to take him out, it's a guaranteed kill.
Right. Yeah, they're not in any... The shadows are not in a rush.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they want this one, cold, clean, methodical, and thorough. That's how they need this to be.
Yeah.
So...
And that's working out for them so far. But hey, we also have emotional character drama.
Yes.
Obviously, Mio likes Shinpei. This is no surprise.
Mio likes Shinpei. So likes Mio. Shinpei probably liked Ushio.
Yeah.
Ushio might have liked him too. Probably did.
There was the whole
the necklace. Right, exactly.
But the way in which Mio has just the classic thing of there's no hope. It's
Senpai will not notice me. No. Yeah, and then
you were a little sister.
Yeah, and then the friend
in a good way.
Right, exactly. Yeah. the line from Bunny Girl comes to mind of no, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. But then the good friend that's gonna try and be helpful and everything, but then it's no, that's too direct, and now you're just making it worse.
And I love also her voice of just what you actually looked in on her at the bathroom,
right?
Like Dokito feels so just
I do appreciate that. That's not just being sort of glossed over, because that was very much okay, I get it. Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, Mio is probably also what the fuck was that? Dokito, what happened? Well, how would you explain this? Well, he's I'll confront him directly for you. Wait, no.
The thing is, Mio probably knows by now because he's told her about the shadow thing, even though she wouldn't necessarily be sure that that's what it is, right? But you could say that if literally the person who brought it up confrontationally wasn't there. But from the other three people there, it's you would say, yeah, no, I thought she might be about to get murdered because I just found out about these shadows and, well, you can't necessarily say that you saw her die in a previous timeline, but, like...
Oh, man.
Yeah. And the whole bit of him running away afterwards because he literally sees the dead person, the ghost of the dead person.
And to them, it's the, like, I need to be anywhere but here. Okay, bye.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And she's just like... Oh, okay, yeah. Like abridged Sakura, like, Yeah. All right, that's okay. Yeah.
But yes, I loved the small town bit with the lady being like, "Oh, just don't."
Right. I'll just go in.
I see many meme potentials with that, but then just based Giga Chad neighbor lady just walks in the house. It's I'm just checking in, make sure everything's fine. Well, they even left the TV on. She doesn't see any problems with it at all.
Yeah.
Just walking around, wondering where they are.
Yep.
I did find it to be that very like perfect creepy horror scene of them like having her kind of fade into the background in terms of audio, where it's like, did she get replaced just in that moment?
Yeah,
because
who knows?
Yeah, but then apparently she didn't go upstairs, so that's good.
Yep.
But then Shiori's just very much there, just sitting in the shadows, and then right when he tries to turn on the light, like fuck.
Yeah,
so
because she was watching and she was waiting, and then she's like, "Oh, he's about to see me. Nope, I'll just do this now."
Yeah, but so I'm actually really curious if Shiori's done this now every time that she's seen Shinpei.
Oh.
Because at the funeral, it's very clearly her that's, looking in that direction when the flash goes off.
Yeah.
And each time it's failed because it's something's already happened with him.
So I'm guessing she wasn't trying to get Shinpei at that point because otherwise she would have realized that it didn't work.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it's that there's someone else that was at the funeral that she made into a shadow. She made a shadow of there, even if she didn't conjure the shadow, right? She got the image to make a shadow later. And if
possibly. Then the one that actually comes to mind directly is So, because then So is the one that comes over to him right after that and kind of bumps him out of the why was that flash just there?
Well, and theoretically, So could have been a shadow before then. He could have been copied just then. That could still be So right then because you can't actually do the swap.
But it shows that he was physically present.
Right, he was physically present, and so then that way it's the yes, that was really So. But then later it's the
that's not So anymore.
Nope, he's a sleeper agent.
Yeah.
I like the idea though that So also likes Mio for the like complicated romance stuff. So I hope he's still alive. Because that's an interesting point of conflict.
Yeah, we can get a lot of drama, I would say, of having the moment where we find out that he does get, turned into a shadow, but we have to stop it. So we go onto a better timeline where he's, saved from.
Which is he learned the Subaru technique, hence the.
He's like, and nope, not.
Hey, he just runs and tackles the cop guy, grabs his gun. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Don't worry. What?
Really, really like random but crazy thought.
Okay. I like
specifically. Why are they setting up the shrine, basically?
The priest and the MacGuffin doohickey of how they'll actually defeat these. Because if they're supernatural and in origin, then you would need some kind of supernatural way of defeating them, whether that's through a MacGuffin or somebody.
No, totally. I totally get the story. Trappings that give you on paper a thing as to people go, oh yeah, that is understandable as to how they can beat this thing, but the idea of it being a shrine versus, anything else, basically, and the Nezu guy brought up that this was like an old thing, like his grandpa told him stuff about this.
This stuff has happened before, and that's why there would be the explanation that they could actually deal with it because this isn't the first time,
But that means then that's why Ushio passed it on. Is that Ushio probably had it passed on to her as well. meaning that this way to fight it has been around for a long period of time.
Well, yes, but they could also do something though.
But that means that there's potentially someone alive that's done a time loop, basically.
Potentially, that is an absolute possibility. The other thing that I will say, given that they are specifically calling them shadows, shadows on their own do not exist. They need something to block the light, right? And then there you go. The absence of the light is the shadow. So there's the correlation to the people, which is pretty straightforward. But there's a third thing there. You need to have the light source.
Yes.
So if you have shadows showing up, it could be the natural repercussion of
the light flash.
Yeah. Right. But if the imagery that we have for the astral forms is glowy,
yeah.
Right. So maybe that's part of what it is. And then if it does end up being something where it's because of weird time loop shenanigan crossover stuff, that could also be a reason to have it mechanically tie in rather than just figuratively in some sort of spiritual positive, negative, light, dark, kind of a deal.
Right. Because usually these stories have, they have trouble establishing the beginning because it's a loop. So it's the idea of why is this a problem now versus any other time?
Why didn't the island already get taken over by these things? Yeah.
Right. And I think that we're setting up almost a long line of shrine guarders who have, gone through loops themselves.
Sure. Yep.
And I could absolutely want this we didn't take notes on his name, but I want
I think it was like Harakiri
or something like that.
Or that might be wrong. Kirikiri or I don't know.
Yeah, but I want
might be in the
But I want to see that conversation. I want to talk to that.
Now, one question, because this is potentially relevant. Do you remember how many episodes this show is? Is it like one core or two?
It's two core.
It's two core. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because with the speed at which they were setting some of the things up, I was thinking, okay, that would make sense with a one core setup, but at the same time, with how complicated this story is, I wouldn't expect that because with a time loop, like if you're gonna have it repeat, right? Then you'd only be able to fit like 2 or 3 decent iterations
at this point. At this point, with how Ushio was brought back into the story. I think there's going to be a point where we'll get like literally an Ushio dedicated episode.
Oh, sure. Yeah, this feels in a lot of ways like the beginning of the story proper. All of the main cast has been introduced, right? They don't necessarily all know each other like the suit lady, right? We know the situation. We have our squad, right? Which is, regardless of whether So is a shadow right now, it's very narratively convenient. Because again, with time loops, that's where it can kind of suffer as the side characters that aren't privy to it.
And Tokito is kind of a newish character that we'll have to develop a little bit in the mainstay. And then, of course, we have a shrine person who's not in the story yet. But then Totomura, the
Totomura Tetsu.
He could also end up being a squad member as well. But he's the general go-to for hey, we need help, security, someone with a gun.
Exactly, right. Kind of thing. The gun is the other MacGuffin, right? It's that's going to be used a lot.
As long as Totomura Tetsu is not shadowfied, the shadows don't have a gun necessarily.
Exactly. In fact, they almost certainly don't, because I get the feeling he's the one cop on the island.
No. I think Suit Lady might actually be armed.
Well, okay. No, that's fair. That would be so cool if it's like, yes, most of my suitcase is like all this sensor equipment, but then I lift that up.
I honestly think that the thing that's going to be revealed about her is not even that she necessarily has a big gun or anything. I think she has probably a small sidearm that's more for like stealthy, sneaky purposes. But I think it's going to be the reveal that
this isn't America.
Right. I think it's going to be more the reveal that the reason why she was able to be taken down by the shadows is because they had a gun, but she's like trained in martial arts, where nobody. No, because she was like hanging upside down and like flipped herself up.
That's true.
She's so strong that it's if any of them come at me physically, I will win the fight.
Right. Like, unless they create some weird shadow abomination, that
or they just literally get the drop on her, you know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
yeah, I like it.
All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel where I have my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play going on, and if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.